Okay, thank you, everyone. Glad to see everybody here today. Everybody's in the Christmas spirit. And so we'll just call this meeting to order. Amy, if you'd like to call roll, please.
Yes, sir. Frank Baptist. Here. Steve Brown. Allison Birch. Bill Eldridge.
Here.
Elgin Hamner. Luke Moody. Greg Shin.
Okay. We have a quorum, so we'll move on next to the statement of FOIA compliance. And I will read this. I affirm that I've not engaged in any prohibited discussion, deliberation, or polling regarding any item on this meeting's agenda outside of a properly noticed and open meeting in compliance with the Arkansas Freedom of Information Act as amended by Act 505 of 2025. So, Amy, if you could call our roll on that.
Frank. Yes. Steve. Yes. Allison. Yes. Bill.
Yes.
Elgin. Yes. Luke.
Yes.
Greg.
Okay. If we can now go to the minutes from the November meeting.
I make a motion we accept the minutes as read.
Okay, we have a motion and a second. All in favor? Any opposed? Minutes are approved. Okay, now we'll go on to our financial reports with Jordan and Mandy.
Accounts I reconciled total $2,006,687.48. We owe to the Department of Finance $518 of sales tax. Look to the next page, you'll see the A&P's P&L for the month of November. Total revenue of $17,861.57. Operating expenses of $16,427.93 for a net income of $1,433.64. Look to the next page, you'll see the A&P's P&L for the 11 months ending November 30th, 2025. Total revenue of $206,364.19. Total operating expenses of $164,401.13 for a net income of $41,963.06. Just shy of the budgeted mark. A large part of that is the labor expenses for the new staff member. Look to the next page, you'll see the event centers P&L for the month of November. Total revenue of $62,374.72. Operating expenses of $55,509.24 for a net income of $6,865.48. You'll see that the event center made the $10,000 transfer to the savings account during the month of November. Next page, you'll find the event center's P&L for the 11 months ending November 30th, 2025. Total revenue represented by that gross profit line is $739,658.08. That's nearly $52,000 ahead of budget. Total ordinary expenses or operating expenses of $472,506.85. It's $26,000 under budget. That's for an operating income of $267,151.23. And you see the capital expenditures totaling $63,821.37, bringing the net income to $203,329.86. That's roughly $77,000 ahead of budget for the year. To date, $10,000 transfers have been made to the savings account, and then from the savings account, those capital expenditures totaling $63,821.37 have been covered by transfer funds there. Last, you'll see the focus group statements. See the November P&L, total revenue collected of $19,395.22. And then the final page of my part of the report, you'll see 11 months collections for the focus group, totaling $224,968.45. It bought itself some checks for $11 and change, bringing its net income, and then paid the payments for the soccer project of $97,752.55, bringing the net income of $127,204.80.
Okay, any questions for Jordan? Okay, we'll move on to Mandy.
To the bank account balances report. You'll see that the A&P Collections General Account ended the month of November with a balance of $10,155.51. This is the sweep account where all the collections are gathered into and then they are dispersed per the commission's requests. 50% of all monthly collections will go into the A&P Large Project Checking. It ended the month with $2,522,964.12. Again, this is the account that the land will be purchased out of come January, so there's plenty of money in that account to be able to make that payment. 20% goes into A&P Small Project Checking. It ended November with $1,650,493.31. And then 10% goes into the next three accounts. A&P General Operating, it ended November with $171,467.17. The Focus Group Checking ended November with $784,719.71. And 10% also goes into the Benton Event Center Operating Checking. It ended November with $608,742.29. There's also a Benton Event Center Savings Account that's for rainy day fund. It ended November with $454,887.17. If you'll go to the next sheet, you'll see our monthly collections as split out by the different categories of businesses that pay taxes. And you'll see that it ended the month with $172,115.21. Compared with last year, it was $170,675. That is just shy of 1% increase. As far as the delinquency is, there are several that are delinquent. It is mainly food trucks or companies that they have sold and they've changed owners, so we're still trying to chase the old owners to be able to get payment.
Any questions for Mandy? Do we have a motion to accept the financial report?
I make that motion.
Motion and second, all in favor? Any opposed? Motion carries.
Mr. Chairman, I do have a question for Mandy, and I apologize for not getting it in before the
Sure.
vote. It had no impact on the vote. I'm just curious. In those, Mandy, in those circumstances where there has been a change in ownership and we are trying to collect from the previous owner, what's the course of action if just through the, normal efforts, we're not able to collect? Do we then will we file suit and try to collect from that perspective?
Normally I do take that to the city attorney, and sometimes it's, if that company's been dissolved, there's no way to get our money back because the company doesn't exist. So there's really nothing to go chase at that point. Sometimes in good faith effort, they'll actually pay. So we just keep month after month trying.
We can't go back, and I'm asking from a position of ignorance, which some will tell you I'm there all the time. Even when that dissolution occurs, we can't go back against the individual owners, or would it be based on how the company is structured?
According to the city attorney, correct, because, yeah.
Okay, thank you.
Good question. Okay, let's move on to funding. We have no request. Well, in January, we'll get an update on where we are through December 30th on any funding and any excess funds left in our budget on that. Next, we'll move to Benton Event Center report from Nikki.
Meeting with 1,038,439 over the last approximately 30 days. We have had 14 events. Just a few that I'm gonna highlight. Arkansas Farm Bureau had their big Purple Circle event, which honors youth that are in like 4-H and all that, and they had 555 people. Duck Duck Goose came back for their holiday sale. Then we had RDOT had a service award luncheon with 315 people. They will be back next week to have the second of those. And then CHI St. Vincent's came for their another service award luncheon with a little over 300 people. And then you'll see down at the end, we've started having our holiday celebrations that we started last week. We will finish up some this week and then finish up with several luncheons next week. So 14 events, 9,647 people, bringing us to 1,048,086. Any questions?
How they compare to last?
The number of events?
Yeah.
I think they're pretty steady. We are getting, there's a couple on here. You'll see there's a couple of smaller companies that are, are new. But I mean, we're trending pretty close to what we've had last year. Some of our events are actually going a little bit longer, so we don't necessarily have as many events as we might have the same or more dates being used on the calendar. So, yes,
So I assume the attendance is close in line then?
yes,
Okay,
yes.
all right, thank you.
We're staying. I've now started booking a lot of 27s already. So.
Thank you, Nikki. Let's move next to marketing from Rachel.
Can y'all hear me better? Okay. So in your packet, you can see the marketing report from November 1st to December 1st. We received 80,500 views on our social media pages for that month. So that's really great. And then you can see the next number, that comma should be after the two, 12,245 sessions on the website. And 85% of traffic on our website is from social media. So you can see how important it is to continually update the content on there, be writing things to put on your website that you can share on social media. I wrote an article on where to order Thanksgiving food in Benton and highlighted several different restaurants. I wrote an article about a real life Hallmark Christmas town in Benton that was really popular. That one got 4,630 views. Our Facebook page is up to 1,297 followers. And then our Instagram account is just over 300. And then if you'll flip the page, you'll see a little report from, this is a report from Arkansas Tourism, the Christmas ad we did with them. So we spent just about $200 and we were promoting a small town Christmas to surrounding counties. And we got 722 event responses on that. And that's an actual action, like you had to click you were interested or you're going to the event. So not just people who saw it, these are people who took action on that ad. And that's just about 28 cents per, person who clicked on it. So that's a good value. The impressions, so this is how many times that ad was displayed, was 39,000. And the reach was 15,000. So I like to look at the reach. That's how many people actually saw the ad. Impressions, you can see it multiple times and they count it each time. So reach, I think, is a better number to look at. And this was on the Arkansas Tourism Facebook page. So I think that's great branding for us as well to make sure we're on statewide pages too.
When they clicked on the link from the Arkansas Tourism page, it took them to our page, correct?
So it took them to a Facebook event page that we partnered with Matt with the city to put on social media.
I wonder if there's any way to back into how many of those people actually then went to our page.
Mm-hmm.
It'd
Yeah.
be interesting to see that.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I can
I
get
mean,
that
that's
number.
great. That's great impact. Don't get me wrong.
Mhm.
I'm just curious. Did it have even further reaching impact that they ultimately got to
Yeah, I'm sure it did because there was a link to go to our Discover Benton page
Okay.
with all the
All right, good
events.
deal.
So, yeah. Mhm. Yeah, and so we're just looking forward to different things we can do next year to keep promoting Benton and our restaurants and attractions here.
Had the little fella around different restaurants.
Oh yeah, have y'all seen? Do you guys know Elf on the Shelf? Okay, so we do have an elf. His name's Mr. Sprinkles, and he has been at different restaurants every day, and people are guessing where he is and commenting, trying to find him. He was at Burger Shack yesterday. Was that just yesterday? Monday, he was at Burger Shack. Yeah. 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 So that's been fun. Okay, that's a great idea. I'll check that. Thank you.
Thank you, Rachel. Okay, next we'll move on to development of the exit 114 property. The mayor might have some additional information, but we are still waiting on the core permit. Garrett Excavation has got to the point where they're just on hold, waiting on the core permit to come in. Hopefully, we should have the core permit maybe in the next week, by the end of this week. Okay, within the next 2 weeks, hopefully. So that'd be a great Christmas present to people a bit. So we'll look forward to that. So that's kind of on hold right now. We did get the fence moved to keep the cows off the potential construction sites for the RV park and the soccer complex. The cows have been removed and they're safely behind their temporary fence. Okay, and so that's about the total update on that. Going on to the old business, I don't think we have any old business here at the end of the year. So we'll move on to the new business. And once again, in January, it's our normal time that we sit down with our budget committee. Just wanted to let everybody know that we've got that plan. Right now, I have myself, Gary, Nikki, Mandy, and Amy on that committee. Is anybody else be interested in sitting in on this? Mandy? So I guess do we need oh, George, okay. So the committee members will be Bill Eldridge, Gary James, Nikki Chumley, Jim Spicer, Amy McCormick, and Jordan Woolbright. So we got a second? All in favor? Any opposed? The committee is formed. We look forward. We're going to do a good job and give some thought to this already. So we'll get that, and then that'll be presented in the February. Okay. An additional matter, we have for those who don't know, we've the new Benton Matters group is reformed under Mayor Farmer's leadership and put that together. And this is a group of citizens that have come together to help promote Benton. I've sat in on several meetings, Gary and the mayor have been there also. And my recommendation is, since this is going to basically advertise and promote Benton, we probably need our marketing person to be on that committee also. And then that way she could give us a report at each meeting what the committee covers. You good? You good? Okay. Do we need a motion for that? Okay.
Make a motion.
Okay, all in favor? Any opposed? That was very well received by the community. We appreciate our community members that paid. Okay, the next thing we want to discuss is what they call the Weekend of Champions. And I'm going to have Mayor Farmer kind of help me through this. Every spring, the AAA is up on, he probably does a better job on this than me.
As an old athletic director, I could talk. Jerry was going to be here, but the quarterback is signing with Southern Arkansas University at this very time, so he felt like it was more important to be there, and he kind of asked me to fill in as athletic director. But the Weekend of Champions brings in teams that are going to compete for the state title in soccer, softball, and baseball. Benton Athletics has the perfect facility sitting over here because you can actually stand and watch all three from the football, back of the football stadium, which is the best facilities in the entire state. Well, they've got to go and bid on it January the 15th, Jerry said. So they're going to bid on getting it back to Arkansas and for a 5-year commitment. We remember we had it 3 years ago, and then Conway's A&P kind of stepped in and it went to Conway for 3 years. Well, Conway no longer wants it. The AAA would really like for it to be here. I talked to Mr. Taylor, who's the chairman of or the director of the AAA, but Jerry Bridges said that Hot Springs will probably bid on it, and then him and Dr. Neal will be there to bid on it. But it brings people from all over the state into our city to stay in the hotel, I hope, maybe eating all the restaurants, shopping our shops. So, questions?
Do we know, so Conway had it before, do we know their level of commitment that they did, or?
You know, they said that the AD at that time told Scott that they had designated $20,000 to help them throughout the expenses. So I can't sit here and say yes or no, to be honest. That's third-hand information.
We actually discussed it back in October of 24. I've got the copy of minutes on that. So, Steve, I know you've had a lot of, I'm sorry, Greg. This will be 3 days. This bid will be for 5, right now. Yeah. Starting with 26, well, 4 years after that. So that would be a commitment that we would make here to this. I think it's very speaking to the, Steve, you've been familiar with this. So.
I mean, to some extent, Bill, you know, it's been a great event for the city. I know it's, you know, brought out a lot of people in when we held it previously, and you know, I think it was a big blow when we didn't win it 3 years ago. So I mean, I think this is something that should be just right up our alley of the types of events that we should be promoting, because it's a short window. It brings a lot of people from all over the state, not just, you know, from Little Rock or whatever. It really, it's a crapshoot depending on who qualifies for the championship, right? And we get 3 days worth of it, people from all over the state. And if it's, you know, if we can get it, win it, and have it for 5 years, I think that's a good deal.
That's my biggest move. That moves the needle more than anything for me that comes to town. And 7 or 8 years ago we had it and it came back. That's one weekend. We did pretty big numbers. We'll be up 15, 18%. So it's the biggest thing that comes to town. Good to know.
No, that's a good point. Let me ask you a question, Mayor, from your perspective, that's a contract that's signed between AAA and whoever the winning school is, right? No, I mean, that's a good point, yeah. But if it's, I mean, I would think if it's truly in a contract form, then we should have those protections. You know, other than an act of God or something like that. we're not borrowing other facilities. So, Mr. Chairman, do you have a recommendation, or Mr. Mayor, is there a recommendation of how much we think it's gonna win? Because it's gonna take to win the bid. I mean, because it's a 5-year commitment, we'll have to commit that amount each year for over the course of 5 years, right?
School district will also be investing money into this program also.
If memory serves correct, when former AD, Mr. Nethery came, I mean, if memory serves correct, it was about 20, he was estimating about $20,000 a year, wasn't it, something like that? That's kind of what I was thinking, because that was 3 years ago, or a year ago, and nothing's gotten cheaper.
Yeah, especially since we have local competition. Like
But if it has the impact like Elton talked about, we start to recoup it on the community.
And then you think about the additional businesses that all these people would love to come and see, especially with a certain establishment on how fancy 140 opens. All those people who want to go by there like it.
From my individual perspective, this is exactly the type of event that we do get it. So with that in mind, I make a motion that we allow up to $25,000 a year for the over 5 years, starting.
So everybody has seconded this motion. Okay, any further discussion?
Hang on just one second. Should we say up to, I'm making up numbers, should we say up to 30 and then let the school district manage up to that number?
But is it one of those, you kind of just have to put it out there and
Probably a sealed bid.
it's like, I mean, you're really just guessing. The thing is, if you're saying,
So the reality of it is then, with that in mind, what we would be contributing is not directly to the bid, it would be to reimburse the school, so effectively helping them offset the cost of winning the bid. So with that in mind, I think we can say 25, we can fix a number, and hopefully the school district will be happy with whatever number it will be. I think what Greg is saying, if their costs increase each year, is that what you're saying? To help them cover the rising cost of things. So I'll amend my motion to read that one.
Okay, so we have a motion on, we have a motion, do we have a new second? Okay, seconded. So, any further discussion? Okay, all in favor? Any opposed? No opposed? Motion carries. Look forward to hopefully hearing good news in January about this. Okay. Only other thing, next meeting date will be January 14th, barring any snow. And what we should do here.
I make a motion, we adjourn.
All in favor of adjourning? Okay, we are adjourned. Thank you. Will you, Mayor, will you let